Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome back. What a delight for us to have with us today Christopher Doyle. He's a licensed therapist and counselor at Equity and Justice for All. He's concerned about a bill in Oregon that could threaten to deny sexually abused minors in our state the right to receive therapy. But first of all, hi, Bill. Excuse me, Christopher. Nice to see you.
Hi there. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, tell us about Equity and Justice for All, the work you do.
Well, Equality and Justice for All is the only civil rights organization that's out there representing the interests of clients and individuals with unwanted same-sex attractions and individuals who have left the homosexual lifestyle or former homosexuals. And so while there's a lot of support out there for individuals who are openly identifying themselves as gay, there's not a lot of people representing those who'd say, you know what, I feel these feelings, but I don't believe that's who I am. And so we represent their rights, and we're out there trying to defend against these unfair laws that are being proposed by gay activists across the country, trying to take away counseling for those who have been sexually abused and are confused.
Whoa. So those who have the tendencies but don't want to go that way, they need protection?
Absolutely. There's a movement out there that says that anyone who experiences same-sex attractions is gay. That's actually not true at all. I'm one of those people. When I was 8 years old, I was sexually abused by an older family member for a year. Subsequently, I started feeling same-sex attractions, and when I was 23, I started to heal from that abuse and resolve those issues. And when I did, my same-sex attractions went away. I resolved those issues, and now I'm married. I have 3 kids. I love my wife. We're actually in the process of adopting two more kids from China.
Wow.
And so there's people out there like myself who they don't identify themselves as gay. And this law, this bill being proposed, which is HB 2307, it's saying that if a minor experiences same-sex attractions, there's no option for them. They must identify as gay, and there is nobody that's allowed to help them actually understand why they might be feeling that way and seek some help. And we're saying that's un-American. How is it that in America we are taking away the freedom of choice and religion from people and saying that you can't get help for this from a highly qualified licensed mental health care? It's simply un-American.
All right, HB 2307. Where is it in the process, do you know?
Well, this bill already passed through the House of Representatives, and it is scheduled to be heard in a Senate committee in just a couple of weeks. And so we have a petition on our website. If you go to equalityandjusticeforall.org, sign the petition and tell the Senate committee members to vote no for this destructive legislation. You know, if this legislation gets through, you will have minors, families, and children who have been sexually abused, who won't have anywhere to go to heal that abuse and resolve those same-sex attractions that result. They're trying to take it away from the most highly qualified practitioners in Oregon and say that it's illegal to do this work. And we're saying this is completely unfair, it's unjustified, and that Christians out there need to go and tell their legislators that they won't stand for this.
That's unbelievable. My brain's on tilt. Have you or your organization testified in the committee?
We actually have been working at this for 2 years. In 2012 and 2013, California and New Jersey passed these unfair laws based on false testimony all across the state. There was activists saying that they've been electroshocked and tortured, and we actually debunked all of those stories. We actually testified in New Jersey, and there was a transgender person who said that he, who was transitioning into a woman, said it was electroshocked at an Assemblies of God Christian camp. And we actually did the research and found out that this is a complete hoax. It was out of a RuPaul movie made in 1999 called But I'm a Cheerleader. But the legislature in New Jersey listened to these stories and completely rammed this legislation through. And so once we started really working at this issue and really educating legislators across the country, you know, in 2014, 15 legislators across the country said no to this destructive legislation. 15 said no. And already in 2015, several of us said no also. But Oregon is one of the few states that is actually listening to these gay activists and these lies. And we're saying Christians need to stand up They need to say no to these lies, and that we want qualified mental health practitioners in Oregon who can actually help youth work through these issues. There is more than one angle to this story.
I'm stunned. I'm just stunned. Fast forward this just for a moment, a little bit on the hypothetical side. Let's say it passes. Does it set up those who try to rescue somebody anyway from this could be charged with a crime or something?
Well, the way that the law is written is that it would basically the licensed counselor would be subject to disciplinary action, including losing their license. And so it would essentially tie their hands and say that if you try to help someone as a licensed counselor who doesn't want to experience same-sex attractions and wants to try to resolve those issues, you could actually lose your license. And so what's happening then, the gay activists, their strategy is to basically take the most qualified people out there that could help and tie their hands so that there's no one who can really help youth deal with this issue. And of course, we know that their ultimate goal is to indoctrinate America to believe that everyone is simply born gay and you cannot change. And that's simply not the truth. In 2008, the American Psychological Association even said that people aren't simply born gay, that it's a complex variety of factors that happen, and that there's many environmental, there's many familial and temperamental issues that go into it, and that people do actually experience change. There's 100 years of psychological research that actually shows this. But the gay activists have a grip on American society, telling them that this is simply a biological or genetic issue. And that's simply not true. People can and do experience change. I did myself. I've worked with hundreds of clients over the last 5 years. My organization, over the last 25 years, has worked with thousands of people who've experienced change in their sexuality. And we're saying that this can happen and that you're taking away the rights of people who really don't want to experience this, and that's just wrong.
Wow. All right. It's HB 2307, and let me encourage you, now that it's left the House and going to the Senate, you may, for those in Southern Oregon and anywhere else that you're watching in the state of Oregon, whether you're on Roku or on cable or wherever, check out who your state senator is and write them a letter. Here in Southern Oregon, it'd be Senator Alan Bates. I'd give him a call right away and say, no.
Our website at equalityandjusticeforall.org. We have a petition on our website you can click on, sign the petition, and it emails every single person on that Senate committee that's going to hear this legislation.
All right, that's the simple way to do it. All right, so go to equalityandjusticeforall.org. Is that right? .org?
Yeah, and just .org, and just click on the petition and sign it.
Okay. You know, Christopher, wow, this is mind-boggling. Couple basic questions. Your own experience, are you seeing that if there was some kind of abuse early in age, that is a common in those who have a tendency to be attracted to same-sex arrangement?
Well, there's many factors that lead someone to develop same-sex attractions, and sexual or emotional or even physical abuse certainly can be one of the factors. And I do see those factors very common in the clients that I work with. It's not just sexual abuse; it could be emotional abuse. Sometimes there's a lack of bonding and connection with the same sex, and that clients are sexualizing their needs for emotional connection with the same sex. And so we work with clients. But what's importantly that we say here is that every single person, families, minors, teenagers, have the right to seek out a licensed counselor to work that shares their values. And what the gay activists are trying to do through this legislation is shut down the debate, shut down the right of Christians to go and seek out licensed counselors who can help them work through these issues. It's simply un-American. And so we're saying this is not fair, that Christians should have the right to really look at these issues just as I did and resolve them, okay? And so we really need, Oregon citizens really need to step up and say, and email their legislators and say, we don't want this. And we're not going to vote for you if you pass this legislation through.
Well, the other thing you're saying here is I think the church is really struggling with how to handle the whole gay issue. We know what the scriptures say, and you know what? Even the gay community knows what the scriptures say, but we haven't figured out a way to legitimately reach out to them. And your organization is to me, is a real ray of hope here, because you're showing what can be done if counseling and therapy is properly applied.
Well, I'm also the director of the International Healing Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that's been around for 25 years. And if you go onto our website, which is comingoutlove.com, we have actually a counselor training program that we work with pastors and ministers and therapists from all over the world. And we teach them how to work with someone who's struggling with these issues. What are the common issues that they experience? What are effective therapeutic techniques, both from a lay perspective, from a minister perspective, and also from a psychotherapeutic perspective. And so there certainly are solutions out there. If you go onto our website at comingoutlove.org, you'll find how you can get trained and really work with people who are struggling with this issue. Because you're right, the church really does need help. They don't understand how to work with people on this issue. And they either take two polar opposite extremes. They either say, you chose this and you're going to hell and you're a sinner, or they say, well, you're born this way and that's fine too and everything is great. But actually, the truth really lies somewhere in the middle. This is a very complex issue, and people need, especially those in the church, need to understand that there's a lot going on there that they don't understand, and they need to work and to be able to understand and help those who are struggling.
Beautiful. All right, let me take a quick break, Christopher. We'll be right back again. Let me encourage you to go to equalityandjusticeforall.org, sign their petition, and on there you'll see everybody that's on this committee going into the Senate now. We're talking Oregon here, and you can contact those senators as they head into committee with HB 2307. We'll be right back. Back. Our special guest today is Christopher Doyle. He's a licensed therapist and counselor with Equality and Justice for All, and that is also where you can go, their website, equalityandjusticeforall.org. And he's sharing with us a bill that's now working its way through the Oregon legislature. It's House Bill HB 2307. And I have to tell you, just about the time I thought I heard it all, another shoe drops. I'm just kind of I'm on tilt with this one. But Christopher, for those just joining us, your organization works with those who have had same-sex attractions but realize that, they don't want to go this way, and you help them and you represent them and you counsel them out of that and into a godly lifestyle. But this bill would deny children who have been abused and are confused from therapy. I mean, it's not only un-American, it's almost unhumane. I mean, who is supporting this? It just has to be the radical left community.
Well, you're right. It's unconscionable that gay activists would seek to take away the rights of children who have been sexually abused. And Bill 2307 will do just that. And we know that if counseling is not available for these children who are struggling with same-sex attractions as a result of abuse, many of them will simply conclude, I must be born this way, and they won't get help. And we know that young people are very impressionable. I mean, the media is reaching them at younger and younger ages. And by the time someone's 12 or 13 years old, if they're experiencing same-sex attractions, they've been indoctrinated by the left thinking that I must be gay. And so if we can't have counselors out there who present an alternative message to them that says, well, you know what? Maybe there is a reason why you feel this way. Maybe you weren't born this way. Let's explore that. That's exactly what this bill is saying we can't do. We can't explore with someone why they might be feeling this way. We can't help them resist any behaviors or unwanted attractions, even if that's against their faith. We're basically telling Christians that your First Amendment rights don't matter here, that you only have one choice, and that is to embrace a gay identity. And that's unchristian, that's ungodly, it's unconscionable, and you're right, it is inhumane to give a young person and say there's no hope for you, you can't get counseling. That is about the worst sort of abuse that someone could do. And we're saying that Oregons need to stand up to this terrible, terrible, destructive legislation. If you want your children to get good help, you need to contact your legislators and say, no, we're not voting for you if you vote this legislation through. This is unconscionable. You can sign that petition at equalityandjusticeforall.org.
All right, do that. Go there and sign the petition. You'll also find there members of the committee where this HB 2307 will be heading to. All right, Christopher, where is the medical community? Where is the psychological community? How can they stand by and let this happen? That's against everything they stand for.
Well, you're right. It should be against everything they stand for because the right of self-determination is actually a bedrock principle that the medical community and psychological community has stood behind for centuries, okay? But the problem is that the gay activists have infiltrated every single one of these mainstream organizations and indoctrinated to think that people are simply born gay and cannot change. And that is simply not the truth. There has never been any evidence from a biological, a genetic, or a hormonal perspective that says people are born this way, and that there are people, there's thousands of people like myself who once experienced same-sex attractions, who went and got counseling, who've come out of that, who've experienced change. I mean, everyone knows, even the left organizations will admit that sexuality is fluid. And so, but what's happening here is that there's such a political agenda to shut down free speech and close the debate on this issue that now you're seeing legislatures are being literally duped by the gay activists in the name of politics. In order to get their agenda through, they're now shutting down the rights of sexually abused kids, and that's the latest pawn in their political strategy.
Well, unfortunately, the atmosphere in Oregon couldn't be worse. I mean, you've got a democratically controlled House, Senate, and now a very strong gay activist governor. I mean, unless you have some legislators really stand up and take a bold step, this could be a done deal.
Well, what we need people to do who are listening to this is as soon as this program is over, get off your couch, get on your computer, sign the petition, call your legislator. If enough people reach out to their legislators and say, I am not voting for you if you're not going to stand up for the rights of sexually abused kids, this will get through. If enough people, if thousands of people email their legislators and say something, this will be stopped. And we need people to really take action.
All right. And let me encourage folks, Holly, there's so many things, but this one is just, it's got my brain on tilt. Equality and Justice for All.org. That's all one word. Equality and Justice for All.org. Sign that petition. Also, familiarize with the contact of the committee members there in the Senate and give them a call. Be nice and polite, but also be very firm and clear that you want them to vote no on 2307, and tell them why. That any sexually abused child should have access to therapy, no matter what the case is. This is just crazy. I want to come back to the work you do just for a moment, Christopher, because I think you also represent an incredible ray of hope here, and you've been at it for a long time. Is there a basic time frame, or how does the process go when somebody realizes this is wrong, I don't really want to go there, and yet I don't know what to do? Can you kind of walk us through that?
Well, the basic thing that we do with our clients as a psychotherapist, I'm a licensed counselor with the International Healing Foundation. And number one, we help clients identify the root causes of why they experience same-sex attractions. Number two, we basically help them resolve those issues in a therapeutic relationship over time. And then number three, so many of our clients, they're sexualizing their relationships with the same sex. And so we help them receive those relationships, love in those relationships from a non-sexual way, forming healthy friendships, forming healthy people in their life, same-sex friends who can encourage them, who can provide friendship and support for them in their journey. So we do those basic steps, and when clients do that, they experience change.
Long process, huh? It takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work, but for those who are really willing to look at the issues and not just accept the lie that they're born that way, they can actually experience change and healing from same-sex attraction. I'm one of them. Thousands of other people have done it as well. And if they want more information on that, they can also get more information at our website at comingoutloved.com, and we can help people. And also parents. We work with a lot of parents who are struggling with this issue, both with gay-identified children and those who want to change. And just because their child is gay doesn't mean that there's nothing the family can do. We really promote open dialogue, communication, and healthy healing in families who are struggling with this issue. And there's more to the story than what people hear. So if you go out and get information on our website at comingoutloved.com, you'll find some solutions on how to really deal with this issue that you're struggling with in your family.
In your own case, was the change instant? I mean,
no, of course not. Change is never instant.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, but where does your faith come into all this?
Well, I'm a strong Christian. I grew up in an evangelical Christian home. And the one thing that my parents didn't know how to do was they didn't know how to help me process my feelings and emotions. Both of my parents came from alcoholic and abusive backgrounds. And so, unfortunately, I walked in those steps, too, of becoming abused when I was a child. And it wasn't until I really sought out really good counseling and healthy men, Christian men in my church, who really helped me to start understanding my feelings and my emotions and really processing those. And a lot of what we do is helping clients understand that it's not simply a sexual issue. There's a lot of emotional issues going on here. Clients who have same-sex attractions are oftentimes sexualizing their need for emotional connection. And we help clients understand what it is that they really want, and it's not necessarily sex.
Well, you're another example of what I say so often on this show. Whatever God saves you from or brings you through, turns you around, makes you a minister too. And that's what you're doing. And I want to say to our viewers and listeners, first of all, number one, go to equalityandjusticeforall.org and sign that petition to say no on House Bill 2307. This is in the state of Oregon, folks, and your legislature is in session right now. And this is going to the Senate committee, and you'll also see the various members of that committee where you can send them an email. And if you need more information on same-sex attractions and all the things that Christopher's involved in, comingoutLove.com is that website. Christopher, you're a delight and inspiration. I want to have you back. I think we can learn a lot from you.
Thank you very much. It'd be my pleasure anytime.
Where are you headquartered?
We're located in the Washington, D.C. area.
Okay, good. Thanks, my friend. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, God bless. And we'll see you next time on Focus Today.